Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. It's 500 days since over 219 schoolgirls were abducted from their hostel in Chibok, Borno State. And to mark the abduction of the girls 500 days ago, the Bring Back Our Girls campaigners organized a walk and a candlelight procession to draw the attention of Nigerian leaders and the international community to the plight of the girls. Members of the group are convinced that the nation's security personnel are capable of securing the release of the abducted children.
Chibok girls ambassadors, what are we demanding?
A candlelight procession in honor of 219 schoolgirls abducted from their dormitory in Chibok, Borno State. With candles, these campaigners demanding the rescue of the girls go round the Unity Fountain in the nation's capital in a solemn mood to demand the release of the girls who were abducted 500 days ago. Before the candlelight procession, members of the group marched on major streets of Abuja. Religious leaders were also on hand to give their support for the release of the girls. With one voice, they call on government to intensify its efforts to secure the release of the girls.
I get all the more worried when we are being told day in, day out that the military are making progress. Boko Haram camps are being routed and scattered. Practically speaking, they are being swept out of Nigeria. How come we have not retrieved even one of these girls? It frightens me. It frightens me.
We must tell the world that Boko Haram will never succeed. And they are not winning. And Nigeria will win this battle. We are peace lovers, we are peace workers, and we shall die as peace workers.
This little girl speaks on how she feels about the abduction, praying that the girls be brought back to their families alive.
I want the government to follow us and help us bring back those girls. And if they fail, we'll do it by ourselves. All those young girls are ready to go to Chibok and rescue those girls.
It's over 500 days since the schoolgirls were abducted. Each passing day, these Nigerians and many others remain hopeful that they will be back. They expect that the return of the girls will be given top priority by the present administration.
Now, for more on the group's position, let's take you live now to Abuja, where Gloria Umezuke is standing by. Hey, Gloria.
Well, thank you, Joma, and welcome to Abuja. Well, joining me now to discuss the group's position and other issues is the co-convener, Bring Back Our Girls Group, Dr. Obi Ezekesili. You're welcome to the News at 10.
Thank you very much, Gloria.
Well, let's begin. It's about 500 days apparently, and since the girls went missing, let's look at the approach of the new government towards finding the girls. Are you satisfied with what you're seeing and the efforts made so far?
I think that thus far, especially since after we had our June 8th meeting with the president and the vice president, albeit with the old military and security team that the president inherited from the previous administration, one thing that was very clear to us was the genuineness of the pledge that the president made. He reiterated what he had said in his inaugural speech, where he stated that we would not have said to be successful against terrorism and the acts of Boko Haram until we have rescued our Chibok girls. Now, for me, that's a very strong statement for a president to make. And when we met together with some of the parents of the Chibok girls and the community of Chibok, that emphasis on the necessity to bring back our girls was very clear to us. We had a set of ABC of our demands, which were welcomed as intellectually strong and practically, possible to do. And so for us, our follow-on letter to the president emphasizes the necessity for setting up the systems that we requested for, systems of feedback, to enable the parents as well as the community and interested public like ourselves, particularly as a movement that has stood for the last 485 days at the Unity Fountain in Lagos, in Oshogbo, in New York, in Washington, D.C., to follow milestone progress that is being made. One of the things that we've so far heard is that there is significant work in the area of intelligence tracking of the movement of these girls since they were abducted. And so here we are on day 500, completely saddened by the fact that, contrary to what we expected when on the 30th of April we first advocated for our girls, we have had to count to day 30, to day 60, 100, 200, 365, and here we are, 500. It makes us so really sad.
But you see, there's this fresh determination by the army right now to win this war. Does it make any difference?
It does make a difference, but as you would know, when hope has been deferred for long, it has a way of, just wearying you. But one thing that became clear to me this morning, because I was having to sort of say to myself, 500 days is a long time for our girls to be captives of savages. And so this morning I was caught between, the cry that followed, that sense that it had taken so long, and a determination to stay strong despite all of it. And the spirit won over the soul, which wanted to just be emotional. And so what we've done is to say that genuinely many centers around the world have been praising the new security team and the architecture of engagement on combating terrorism. Those praises were not there after a while with the previous administration. Now, because these centers, of course, know certain things that were not public previously, it is a signal that we may actually be on the track to truly decimating the capacity of Boko Haram, and as the president say, being able to bring back not just our Chibok girls, who stand as a symbol for all other abducted citizens of our country.
You see, I remember you talking so much about intelligence from the army during the last visit between the To Bring Back Our Girls group and the Secretary General, the United Nations Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon. Did that visit bring any fresh hope of the girls returning back?
What the United Nations stands out as is that it is the topmost global platform through which nations of the world collaborate and solve common problems. So the public good of nations globally are decided around that table. And in what we've seen so far, as far as the menace of global terrorism is concerned, is that more and more nations are learning that collaboration and synergy go a long way, because terrorism is an activity across borders. There is no way you can purely use national systems to solve the problem of terrorism. Terrorism is a global public bad. So collaborating, reaching beyond your boundary, and means that some of the countries with less sophisticated systems and mechanisms for tracking information can, of course, leverage on other members of the United Nations. Now, sometimes it is difficult for country to speak to country, and they can use the system of the United Nations as a way of finding the basis for such engagement. So it's quite possible that the UN can facilitate some of that. But bilaterally, if you follow the visit of our president to the United States, it registered in the minds of the establishment within the US that this is time to re-engage. And as a matter of fact, Secretary Kerry had directly made that promise to us as a movement.
So with that, Nigerians can wait with high expectations of something positive to come.
What's the counterfactual? The counterfactual would be to say it's impossible, we give up, nothing will happen. We refuse to do that.
Dr. Ezekesili, that's the much we can take at the moment. Thank you for joining us on the News at 10.
Thank you very much.
But that's it from the nation's capital. It's back to you, Ijoma.
Thanks a lot, Gloria, for that one. And when the News at 10 returns, United States government to build ultra-modern medical storage facility here in Lagos. That's in a moment. Join us again.